We already built like one school, 100K months, and in this challenge we are building essentially 9 more, also 100K months in 12 months. So quite tough challenge, and therefore basically also like going all out already. In the last 90 days, we launched 16 schools essentially, made a bunch of learnings on top, and yeah, in this video I'm going to share why most schools make no money, because we just like already can say for sure like from the school we launched like 8 of them won't go anywhere, and I'm going to break down this video why, because like in the last 2 years that we're on Skool, I've seen a lot of things, and basically just like stick to this, and yeah, you can just like reward that, and if you just like don't do these things or have them in place, then you won't fail. But a lot of them are fixable, and I'm just also going to give them. Yeah, I'm just going to do the raw, uncensored reality, and then you can take with us whatever you want. But I'm going to speak the truths. So let's dive right in. So hashtag one reason, no or dead audience. So a lot of people think they can just like start on Skool without an audience. It's like does work, and then people with an audience essentially they think yeah, it's like if some followers then now I can convert them, and that's like also like a big mistake we made, because we thought like followers are followers, but they aren't. So it's like actually makes a huge difference if you have an engaged community in your follower base, or just like if you have a dead audience and no one gives a damn. So it doesn't matter if you have no followers or dead audience, you won't get anywhere. And then we can also like dive right in already. So I'm just like have like the 8 schools. We already say okay, we have failed in the instance. So basically here we launched the school for Oscar, great guy, really knows his stuff, is like awesome dude, great coaching program, but he just like we just like analyzed after the school not doing that much, he went viral with a bunch of videos, which are awesome, but like it didn't build like too much of a connection, and that's therefore basically where we launched the school, and we had no one join essentially. It's like it's one coaching clients are in here, but yeah, no one has joined. Next guy, Achidi, same story. No one joined essentially. Having like entire launch campaign. He has followers, he gets views. Yeah, but they weren't engaged enough to trust him with that. Then we have Bar from like Mentally Stronger, same story, like 30K, and like even some videos you say okay, popping off like 500,000 views, and like what's going on? Like yeah, like we also didn't realize it's entertainment content. There's like no real bondage made to the followers, and that's why people didn't join. I played pretty much same for that. Also launched that one, and yeah, not that much engagement, but it's just like it was like the people who clock in didn't care that much. The school wasn't going well, and same for Sean here, which actually is like an absolute OG. And what he does is like is an absolute OG, that guy. But yeah, same story with the audience. So it's like all of these slammed right into point one on our glorified list. So yeah, if you just like want to take one thing from this video, you need an engaged audience that actually cares about you, and not just like some people just watch your stuff for like entertainment stuff. You need someone who actually cares about you, who actually wants to learn from you, is engaged, which most people don't have initially. But you need that. If you don't have that, you're already going to fail on point one, which is basically like where we fail like the 5 schools I just like essentially showed you. I just like walked a lot of into nowhere, and that's why I'm telling you this. Okay, move on to point 2, the work ethic. What does that mean? Just like not being able to do the boring work. And to be honest, with these guys, we are doing all of them for all of the work for them. So no one of the guys who work with us have to do anything in regards to like building schools or doing anything in regards to setup. We do all of that. So essentially, they just only have like key tasks in regards to like the program and like obviously stuff that only they can do. But we also had people, to be totally honest, and this one good story next, who haven't done nothing. So essentially, roll on here, we have Paolo, who has a way more engaged audience, or like a better community. But yeah, he just clocked out in the middle of the School process. And we have been doing everything, essentially. So it's like no front to him. But he just like disappeared, like went on a ghost mode or something like this. And therefore, obviously, like the school, like everything's set up. But yeah, it's like it's essentially a failure because he just like quit, essentially. Yeah, same for our friend Matt here from Carly Silverback. Great concept, like great stuff, but it's like won't go anywhere. It's like essentially because it's just like clocked out, and like same for our friend James here. Yeah, I think James would also have like the same issue of point one with the audience, but yeah, he also it's really like get 3 people just like quit on the boring work. So one is like something that's like a little more effort. They just like didn't want to do it anymore and just like went back to what they were doing because they didn't want to get that comfort. But we were already doing everything for them we could do, which is like point 2, zero work ethic. And it's also like a C at school because people just think, okay, the one fits all. It's not. You actually have to put it to work. You have to build something genuine. If you don't, yeah, you won't get anywhere from you. Those are like the two main points. So like most goes to like point one or point two. I would say like majority point one, just like not having engaged audience that cares about you because it's the bread and butter on the school, so to say. But then there are like a few others that just like I've seen a lot of people break their neck on. This didn't apply to us specifically, what we have been doing, but it's like I've seen a lot of people just like being in school around the school for a long time. So point three, shiny object trap. So basically like not knowing what they do. So just like they have no proof of concept with like something they've done in the past, that they don't really know what to do. It's like listen to all the gurus and they just do something else every week. And they just like focus on the stuff that doesn't drive the needle instead of just like locking in on what actually drives the needle. It's like jumping from weird funnel to weird funnel to weird funnel instead of actually providing on what drives the needle. It's like one core funnel and like building everything around it. And that basically like get them nowhere because then they get more and more frustrated and they eventually throw the towel in. Then point four, actually, that's like, I would say one of the biggest ones, exactly the money niche, when it's in like a business niche, because like it's so crazy. It's like, it's wild. It's like also like what we were referring to school at the Wild Wild West, like you won't find any business model that is like, isn't promoted in school. It's like everything. And these are usually like gurus, just like in the money niche, just like promise anything, whatever, and just like have some school group and slam some price on it. And you usually like see it pump because they have like an engaged audience usually that like want to do stuff because they want to make money. And then they basically just like pump people in the group and then they realize people just like realize, okay, that is a scam or I'm not getting my money's worth of value here. Like no one gets results essentially. And then people are gone. So that is like the pump and dump on schools was in the early days. It was specifically crazy where like the old school games, like not the school games, there's like different versions of the school games, different evolution stages. The beginning was like who could grow the community in 30 days the most. And then it basically has been like quarterly, and now they abolished it completely for these badge emojis. But back then there was like pump and dump in the school game, and this was like a lot of people were like won the school games, and the next month they had no community anymore because like overpromised, underdelivered. People were pissed. They basically ruined their reputation over that, and that was it. So like there's a lot of people still on school, especially in the money niche. It's like a huge one where they just like crash the community straight against the wall, like be genuine about the stuff, which is obvious, like be human. And point five, which also I've seen, is like the people just like can't figure it out because it's like it's really difficult over time, and they just like don't see any light on the end of tunnel. It's a blue vision, and it's like a general business concept. It's this founder wants out of vision. The business is basically finished. It's done. So basically, people just like give up or pivot. Just like go back to some one-on-one or like some other one-time purchase thing. Although like it makes more sense to have a school ecosystem, but they just like run out of vision, and therefore it's like it's all gone. So if you don't believe in what you're doing, then basically you fail because you just like don't believe, and then you can make an outcome. So obviously, don't be stupid about it. So if you, for example, if you don't have point one, then it's like it's delusion to like keep hammering against the wall. Because if it was like the schools I showed you, if we would now just like say, okay, we keep hammering against the wall, it would be delusion. Like some people got some great stuff going, just like take some more time, and then it would be great, but yeah, it's just like run out of vision. So that's essentially how it rolls, and most schools basically that fail fall in category one. That's basically most people. And then basically, like people have way more wrong expectations, that they get distracted, that they don't make the right promises, and then yeah, they run out of the vision. So if you want to succeed on school, you have to reverse that. So if you want to start build a community, what do you need, or otherwise you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Do something different. It's like you're just going to waste a lot of effort. Do something different, please. So make sure you have an engaged audience, or you partner with someone who has an engaged audience. Because if you already don't have that, then it won't work and just like wasting all the time, and you can just like do something different. And if you don't do anything business, like enjoy life. We only like live once. So do something different if you don't have an engaged audience, because this is a warm audience business and school is a product solution. So you need to have that. If you don't have that, like ignore the advice on your own mercy in the end. Then if you have zero work ethic, yeah, it's like, what do you do in business? Just like go to 9 to 5. And yeah, just shiny objects, and we all have that. Just like have to get a hold of that. Just like focus on this one thing, make school your one thing, and just like focus on it. Over focusing on the deliver. It's like you have to get some ethics. So it's like if you don't have ethics, you basically pretty much deserve to lose. And like also what I'm like telling all these money people or whatever what I'm thinking about it, they basically deserve what happened in the end. And that's why I was like, well, we decided for us, so we're only like building the schools we're building, also with this challenge here, we're like building the 10 schools over 100K months. We're basically doing it in like sports, health, fitness niche only exclusively because I really like that niche. And also we make greatest positive impact. Other things was bulletproof, so many people transform, it's crazy. You can only do great stuff with that in the world. That's why we choose to do that. We don't need the money. And yeah, that's why we only work with sports, health, fitness. But yeah, you can make more money in the money niche, not the I niche, obviously, but it gets scammy pretty fast. And if you have been around for a while, then you know what I mean. Yeah, and lost vision, obviously, like, yeah. Just like you have to know what you're doing and you have to be willing to suffer for it, because if you don't, then yeah, business will work for you, essentially. So it's just like, oh, where there's no vision, people perish. So that's why you need to log in. So that's basically it. That's the rundown. It's like with everything in business. So what I've just like shown you, it's like you like need basic distribution. You need to walk, and then basically you need to don't scam people, and then you basically need to log in and have a long-term vision. That's basically what it is. Yeah, hope that was helpful. That is basically pretty much everything you need to know. And for most mesh builders, I mean, don't do a school. But if you have all of these and you basically can get around all of these, it will crush for you. And that's essentially what we're also going to log in with the other schools we're doing. We're just going to solve for the engaged audience. And yeah, the other ones don't apply to us because we have everything else in place. Yeah, see you in the next one.